Eastern European DPC returns here today with two best of threes that we are going to be bringing you. I'm Harry Freak and I'm going to be bringing you the Dota action today. As I mentioned, we're going to have two best of threes, one starting now and one starting after this series or at 15 CET. It is not going to be a rolling schedule. The second match is set to start at 15. It is going to be starting later if the first series does go through a little bit, but we are going to be watching X3 versus Rise Esports, and then we are going to be moving into PuckChamp versus HF. So we do have two pretty fun series ahead of us. I have to say, overall, other than Hydra, that have been completely dominant so far, I could see anyone winning today. Maybe in the second series, I would give a advantage to PuckChamp, but X3 versus Rise Esports, this first series that we have ahead of ourselves, it is gonna be hard to guess who's gonna win before we see the drafts. But once we do, then it might be a little bit easier for me to make up my mind. Overall, I would give a slight edge to Rise Esports in the DPC and in some third-party tournaments that I've watched them in. They've looked better than X3. But then we look at the statistics now in the DPC, and on the first day of the DPC, on the January the 31st, it has been a long time since then, Rise Esports, they fought against YNT and they lost 2-1, right? The same YNT lost only 3 days after that one to X3 with a score of 2-1. Both of the series were close, so you could say that these three teams are close to each other, but X3 should still be coming in as the favorites. But from what I've seen, Rise Esports, they've looked much better since then. They've worked out all of the kinks, and now they're looking like a pretty decent team. X3, on the other hand, there were some experiments from their side. They still play the Enigma. Didn't go too well for them, neither in the DPC nor in third-party tournaments. I think in DPC they won exactly 0 games with the Enigma, but they are trying to go for it. Their offlaner Sugarrat, he does play these zoo heroes, we can put it that way, and I have to say on the Enigma has been pretty unsuccessful, even though it is known to be one of his better heroes overall. But I'm hoping that we are going to be seeing some interesting things in the draft that should be coming out on the screen in just a few minutes. Overall, there is a ton of versatility here in Eastern Europe, but there are some things that are kind of set in stone, and that is that Hoodwink is like the main position 4, sometimes even position 5 that teams are going for. In Division 1, we had the Techies, we had the Hoodwink, and the Snapfire, with an occasional Dark Willow coming there from time to time as these team fight damage dealing supports. In Division 2, Hoodwink has been like at the top of the food chain in terms of how many times it has been picked, but definitely the hero was always eaten, considering that he only has 25% win rate. So that is 12 games, 3 wins, 9 losses. A catastrophic, I'd say, statistic for a hero that I do agree with the picks. It is very, very strong. In Division 2, the only hero that has been picked more has been the Treant Protector. So he does have a 50% win rate, and considering he's being picked in the first phase, that's actually really, really good statistic. Some other obvious heroes, strong meta heroes, Clockwork, Lina, Rubik, they are always going to be there. I'm looking through it. The Beastmaster has a 100% win rate. So I'm going to assume that against Sugarrat, you ban that one. Or there is going to be an Enchantress very early in the pick. That is also a very, very possible scenario that we are going to see. Looking at the standings in Division 2 here in Eastern Europe, well, Hydra, well, they have been undisputed as the strongest team currently, 4-0. They are going to be playing against HF this week. That's going to be an easy one for them. And in the last week, they're going to be playing against Rise and against PuckChamp. Rise could be a hard opponent. PuckChamp, they've looked okay. So we'll see how that works. So this week should be easy for Hydra, for them to secure a 5-0 for for now. But these two that we're watching today, Rise Esports are 2-1. YNT are 2-2. Oh, sorry, not YNT. X3 are 1-1. So Rise Esports has played one game more. If X3 wins, they are gonna be taking over Rise Esports. And X3 overall, they tend to look good sometimes, tend to drop the ball. It is quite normal when these tier 2, tier 3 teams, the biggest problem is inconsistency. They cannot play every lineup at the same level. You need time. You need time to learn. You don't have these super experienced captains with you to just give you all the knowledge. You have to do it by foot, if we can say it like that. And X3, they have been grinding for quite some time. They've stayed in Division 2, and they're going to be trying to do so again with potentially going forward. And I don't want to say they don't have a chance, but I would still put, well, Hydra, Rise, PuckChamp, and Cybercats ahead of them. I think they're close to it with YNT and Sigma, and they're definitely stronger than HF. So probably won't get eliminated there. Actually, I wouldn't put Cybercats over them. Cybercats have really been dropping the ball. Sorry about that, but when I watched them play, it wasn't all that bad. But overall, they have lost 3 series. One of those, though, was against Hydra, and considering that probably everyone is going to be losing against them, it's really not that big of a deal. Last day that we watched was on February the 9th. We had Sigma YNT versus Cybercats. They won 2-0, and we had YNT versus Hydra. They lost 2-0. I wouldn't be too surprised if today Rise Esports won 2-0 against X3 and PuckChamp won 2-0 against HF, especially that latter series. But I'm hoping that we do get to see at least one 3-game series tomorrow. Sorry, not tomorrow. In 2 days, there is gonna be a 3-game day. We're gonna have one more like that on the 20th of February. So hoping that you guys will be enjoying that day. On that day, both on the 13th, both me and Rob will be casting him on the first 2 series, and I'm going to be on the very last one. So hoping to get some info here for the start of the draft. It is hopefully gonna be here soon. There might be some problems with the players in the lobby, but as soon as they are ready, we are going to be hopping in. They're looking more at the statistics here and how and the standings as well. PuckChamp are 1-1. Who did PuckChamp lose to? They lost to Sigma YNT. Okay, this is just all over the place, right? Maybe PuckChamp is actually pretty weak. Who's playing for PuckChamp? Yeah, they shouldn't be weak. Shigetsu, Young G, Malik, Daniel, H2O. I mean, that's a pretty decent lineup. It is very weird that they lost to Sigma. We'll see what ends up happening there overall. They did barely win against Cybercats. Maybe it was the longest game of the tournament, 87 minutes. Rob casted it. He was really hungry there towards the end of it. But maybe Shigetsu has a soft spot for his previous team. If you guys don't know, Shigetsu used to play for Cybercats. He was like their star player. He played a lot of Weaver there. Did PuckChamp now with Shigetsu play a Weaver game? I'm interested in that one. No, not just yet. No, he hasn't been playing a ton of it in the last couple of months. I remember last time I saw Weaver on him was a third-party tournament just before the new year. So it's not that common that Shigetsu will be picking it up nowadays. Even though from time to time I do see a Weaver being brought up, but we can focus on Rise and X3 just to see how that is going in terms of their picks. So Rise, yeah, a lot of Hoodwink has been played. They play the Weaver. Varying success. They have won some games, lost some as well. So Rise do do tend to pick it up for themselves. Dino does play it. So I'm finally getting info from Rise Esports, or from the series, but one of the players from Rise Esports does have a problem. I don't have info on exactly what the problem is. Is it internet connection? What the case is? I'm not sure what the rules are in terms of stand-ins. I know the general rules, but if the stand-in has not been presented sometime before the series, I don't know if it's allowed to play. Hopefully everything is going to be fine, everything is going to be settled, and we are going to be hopping into the game fairly soon. But for now, we are going to have to be waiting for that to happen. I have to say, every time I cast, and when I'm in the studio segment, I get these itches sometimes. Either it's my nose or eyes or whatever. I think it's because during the studio, I'm all straight up looking at the camera and stuff like that, and there's probably like some static or electricity or whatever that is coming from my mic that is irritating me from time to time. During the games, I don't need to scratch anything or whatever, but during the studio segments, sometimes the nose does itch. Hopefully I can deal with that problem, so you don't have to be looking at me here like monkeying around and stuff like that. So hopefully that's I do get a solution for it in the near future. But let's go back to the heroes that we started talking about. So Rise, we did see those Weavers. Did they play any later on? Of course, there's going to be Ursas. They did play a Spectre, did win with it, understandably so. Something out of the meta that Rai Esports did play was a Shadow Shaman. They did so against Sigma YNT on the 7th of February. So last day of the first week, they pulled it out. I casted that series, and it actually looked quite good. It really did catch Sigma by surprise, because this hero just isn't being played all that much. Neither the Lion nor the Shadow Shaman, which are kind of viewed as these gods of lockdown, just because of the built-in hex. Well, they're not a part of the meta currently. All of these they call them leash heroes and stuff like that. They have been pretty popular. But Shadow Shaman, for me, I don't see a reason in the current meta he shouldn't be good, because he pushes towers, and that's very important, and he can push out the waves if need be. So he's not that bad. I guess here's the deal. A lot of the supports who do have core items, Shadow Shaman, you cannot play him without the Blink, or you cannot play him without the Ether Lens. It's impossible, right? A lot of the supports that are being played currently can pick anything up. And considering the 4-staff is so good in the meta, then that might be the reason that Rubik's, Hoodwinks, heroes like that have innate damage dealing, and they don't need anything to enable their damage, can instantly go for defensive items, mainly the 4-staff, to survive. So that might be one of the reasons. Also, ultra mobile heroes, the spirits, other than the Ember, none of them are a part of the meta. Usually is these fat frontliners that go forward, DPs, tinies, stuff like that, and sometimes even locking them down for a long time doesn't mean you're going to kill them. You need the damage. So those could be the two reasons. But overall, because of the pushing potential of the Shadow Shaman, I'm pretty sure that the hero can be there, because even without a single item, you still have the Serpent Wards to make sure that the towers will be dropping down. I'm seeing some people in chat also asking what is the delay, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in chat, and I will answer them, Dota related or anything else. I don't mind. We'll be giving you guys an explanation. Overall, again, Rise Esports, one of their players does have a problem. Who it is, I don't know exactly, but they don't have that problem any longer, because we are going to be in the draft here. Rise Esports versus X3. Game number 1 draft is going to be starting up. First pick for X3, last pick for Rise Esports. Again, is going to be giving us this very nice team pick. and something like that can understand them just a little bit better. Even though I don't necessarily use these numbers, they can definitely help you guys to understand it. So Rise will go for a Centaur. Okay. Very early Centaur pick, something that Alliance does do a lot. Third-party tournaments, DPC now Centaur is banned every single time against them. A tiny opening. I'm not a fan. There is a Beastmaster in the pool, but they're not going to be going for it. With the Lesh, now we can assume that it is going to be a 4 tiny. Okay, now it's a little bit better. Alone does play a lot of tiny. X3 though, they pick the tiny, but I think they always lose with it.
Radiant team ban.
Okay, I can see one game where they won with the tiny. It was a core tiny in that game though.
Radiant team ban.
Core tiny, another one, and they lost though. So they didn't play that much in the DPC. I must have mixed it up with some third-party tournaments, but either way,
10 seconds.
We'll see how it works out. Lesh, have they maybe played it as a something other than a mid laner? Nope. Not so far. They haven't played it a single time. So this is actually very, very weird. I'm gonna assume that this is their 4 and 2. But we never know.
10 seconds remaining.
Overall, having a high HP hero against a lot of damage, you know, coming out from the Centaur is always nice, and Centaur's damage is magical, so the extra HP is definitely gonna help. They are going through the bans super fast. We are seeing some problems there with the reserve time. I just want to check for the reasons for those, because I don't want you guys to not have the info. So today is the 11th, first series. Yeah, nothing has been said, so it's probably because they were late and had a problem that they lost their reserve time on Rise Esports. Understandable. I completely agree. Because in the previous days, there were some penalties even before the series started because a couple of rules have been broken. Marcy does come out. We have seen some carry Marcy's come out as well, and now that's probably going to be the case with the Phoenix coming in. They have a solid amount of things to defend the egg, but you did pick a Phoenix into a Snapfire, so it is going to be da-da-da, and the egg is dead. You do have 6 shots in the little shredder, 6 HP on the level 1 Phoenix egg. So a little bit weird. And you have a ton of stuns on the side of X3, a ton of AoE damage. But once there's a BKB on anyone, they can focus on the egg. We'll see what they pick to deal with it. The sniper will be banned out. Morphling was already banned out. So those are kind of the best ones. Drow is also out of the picture, and Lina, obviously, either banned on or picked every single series. I've very rarely seen the hero completely ignored. Weaver, okay. Rise did play a Weaver, varying success, but Dino was always looking good. What's the ban here? Oh, they get rid of the okay. They did get rid of the Beastmaster. Egg defenders. Is there anything in the offlane there we could think of as something that's gonna defend the egg? It might be an offlane Marcy as well, but as I mentioned, in the Eastern European DPC here in Division 2, it has been played as a carry mostly. Started off by Shigetsu, followed up by everyone, one of the better ones against Delina in particular. Looking at the armor of Rise Esports, they don't have a single agility hero other than the Ember, and he is not really an agility hero. I mean, he is, but not really. Not the type of hero that will actually have a ton of armor. So good luck surviving the smashing of your face. So do you go for full-on egg defense like Mars and something along those lines, or you just continue with the damage? I would prefer a little bit of physical damage. So Mars actually does come to mind as a really good one for X3, because he's the best at defending the egg. Good at holding the Centaur in place. Bad against the Clockwork. Not that great in the meta, but the hero's hit kit always allows him to be somewhat useful. They do have 2 minutes, so X3 they're They're definitely going to be taking a lot of time here.
Radiant team pick.
Okay, so it's gonna be a Visage. Sugarat, he's well acquainted with this one. Visage Tiny most likely in the offlane unless you want to play Marcy and the carry Tiny. Marcy 4 and the carry Tiny. I don't think that's gonna be happening. Makes sense. So they went for let's have some utility on our Visage. That is gonna be their Greaves builder most likely. I'm okay with it. I'm fine, but I think it is something that can be punished. Now in the lane, you're gonna get something like a Medusa. I actually would like a Medusa here for Ryze. I think they have enough damage as it is, but they'll go for the Faceless Void. Okay, that's a good hero in the lane against the Visage. You don't care about the soul assumption. In this game in particular, there's a lot of things that can burst you down, but also there will be a lot of saves. Bursting down a hero with the lineup that needs to go stun after stun after stun is not easy. You don't have like BAM damage type of lineup from X3, but you have stun from the Tiny, stun from the Lash, and then in those 4 seconds you kill him. But if he gets 1 Force Staff or a cookie, or a someone jumps in with the stun, then they can definitely stop it. I have to say I'm preferring the Ryze Esports lineup here. A lot of team fight on both sides, but I think the Faceless Void is actually a really decent pick. Very hard to catch, very hard to kill from 100 to 0. Once the chrono comes out, you don't have that many tanky heroes, and it is also a very good way to protect your team from a Marcy. Marcy is one of these heroes that in the late game I would a lot of the times put my faith in her, but the Faceless Void is the type of hero that doesn't allow you to move, and that makes the Marcy just not as great. So I am gonna be leaning on the side of Ryze Esports. I do think that they're looking like a better team. So in my mind, this should be 1-0 for Ryze Esports. X3 would need to, in my mind, have to have a slightly better draft for me to believe that they're gonna win in this game. I don't think that is the case. So I'm going to be leaning for the Radiant side. But that being said, our game is ready. Before it, we are going to be taking a slight break for a word from our sponsors.
Bets on esports, bets on streamers, impressive bonus system. Welcome bonus up to $600, cashback, artifacts, regular promotions, daily giveaways. Try yourself as a bookmaker. Great lines. EGB.com, more than just a bookmaker.
And we enter the game number 1 here, the first game of the day, of the first series of the day in the Eastern European DPC Division 2. It is going to be Ryze Esports versus X3. We were late a little bit. There were some problems with one of the Ryze Esports players, but they fixed those, and we are going to be enjoying this game between these two amazing teams. Who's going to be coming out ahead? Only they themselves know. No surprises here on Blizz's items. 2 rings of protection, and is going to be going for the ring of health as well. So, you know, it seems to like jewelry. Dodgen, the mid lane on the Ember. He's going to be laning against the Lash. Lash doesn't really bully the melee heroes all that much in Ember Spirit. There's only a handful of heroes that really are a problem to him. So in terms of runes, it's gonna be a 2 for 2. No surprises there. None of the teams went for a fight, even though X3 did have a Visage, so could have been a bit more aggressive. But either way, the laning stage will start equal with none of the wards rewarded, a couple of sentries placed, and the runes being equal. Here on the map, looking at the odds from our sponsors, EGB, they are favoring Ryze Esports. As I mentioned, they are just looking like a better team currently, and this draft of theirs, it does seem a little bit easier to execute. One also thing that I didn't mention is X3. They rely a lot on spell spamming, right? Lash, Tiny, Visage, Time Dilation is a great spell. You always have to take that into account. There's some heroes that don't really care about time dilation, while X3 don't have a lot of them. Alone. The first time I'm seeing him on camera. it does look pretty satisfied. There, we'll see if that is gonna continue. They did get a couple of denies there. On him and Sugarat and Dino did miss a couple of creeps, so they are quite happy with how the lane is going. Black Archangel is not doing anything, so I'm not sure. Usually we would see a Clockwork go forward against a Visage. It's a little bit tougher because they can't kill you. What you want to do with the Clockwork, go in, take half of your HP and damage, get out, rinse and repeat. That's what you do. You force out the enemy region by trading your own. This is kind of what you do, but he is going to be slapped immediately. And Soul Assumption, Sugarat threatening with it. Black Archangel will be hurt a bit and not too much. Yep, it's time to try to drain their mana with the cogs. Obviously, that's not that big of a deal. And Black Archangel, he wanted to show us his manly headset once again. Always going to be talking about that one. It does shine quite a lot from those cat ears there. Top lane, Nesphere, dropping low, follow-up stun, dead. Beautifully done there by Rise Esports. Combo spells, nicely done with the Phoenix. You don't really stop magical damage. You can stop the auto attacks, which Rise Esports, they're not relying on whatsoever in this lane. Marcy has been nerfed quite a lot in terms of her laning presence. The support core doesn't matter. It's very hard to make things happen, and this is a big one. Rise probably would have wanted it to be the center to get the kill just because of the Ring of Health, but doesn't matter. He is still looking pretty strong, does have two tangos, and he will be able to farm up his Ring of Health until that happens. Also, guys, if you are bad at playing core and you need to play an offlane in your pubs, play a Centaur. Very good animation, very good damage. Even if you're not that great at last hitting, this is going to be a hero with which you will be able to do so. Mid lane, the Lesh is losing, not by a lot, but enough for the Ember to be very content with how it's going. As I said, Lesh doesn't bully melee heroes, it's just not how it goes. Nesphere got some of his HP taken, he doesn't have the rebound. If he did, Blizzy would be hunted down for sure. Now they're gonna be going for Arrow, who jumps out with the cookie, but not in time. The stun did connect, a couple of more hits, and Arrow could be dropping down. He needs the tower region, not gonna be helping him. Now Blizzy turns around, he tries to get a kill, not gonna be happening, and now will be punched in the back. And X3 show that they can strike back in this lane, and there it is. If you had the Ring of Health on the Centaur, that kind of aggression from X3 wouldn't be coming out. So not getting that first blood actually makes a difference in the lane. Of course, if you did play it a bit more carefully until you did get the Ring of Health, would also help you, but obviously they did not. So now, after that one, the laning phase is going to be going better in terms of X3, though it is only 4 minutes in, so we'll see how it continues. 4 minutes coming in, faces void, and the Clockwork, they can't buy their raindrops, and then the lane against the Visage does become easier, but the Visage usually does not win the lane like this. This is very dangerous for Rise Esports. You could get to that point where Visage just gets all of his items. He makes every single one of his teammates super tanky, and suddenly you can't kill anyone. Even though you have solid damage dealing heroes, Snapfire, Ember, it's definitely not going to be easy if you allow the Visage to continue having a laning phase that he is thus far. And actually, how are you gonna stop him? It is the first few levels where the Visage's damage is just so low and he can't do anything. But they didn't slow him down at all there. Either way, Dino is not gonna be shut down, but not too happy about the current state of things. I have to say, Black Archangel there was very, very slow in applying pressure in the early levels. Dark, very low, needs to be careful. There is going to be a scatter blast fairly soon. If you continue doing this, Dark, it could end up with your demise. Gonna be alive for now. Does have the raindrops, so should be able to survive a scatter blast. And Nesphere coming over. Arrow knows. Was exactly. Even though he doesn't see and is spotted by enemy vision, Nesphere will not catch him. Mid lane, 400 gold difference in terms of net worth there in favor of the Ember. The Lash isn't having the greatest of times, but obviously not shut down completely. We'll see if there's a chance that they can kill him. First rune is going to be going for dodge rune, but Invis isn't the best rune for an Ember. You're hoping for a DD, you're hoping for a haste. Those are the killing runes. Arcane rune is also nice, but you would want to have level 7 at least for a maxed out Sleight of Fist. Overall, the second power rune is going to be more important than the first one, just because of the mid lane matchup. Neither of these heroes want to be rotating with the first rune unless it is a haste, right? So very much impossible to happen. Arrow, almost dead, still alive. He might actually die here to the Lash, but yeah, beautiful footwork there, Natty Narwhal. Now he understands that he has been juked, but he doesn't see, he doesn't know. And he's gonna have to bail on that one. While he has been chasing all of this, the Ember has been building up his net worth. So the difference will become even bigger. Dark caught, Dark dead. Whenever you get caught on the top lane, there's a good chance there's going to be a follow-up on the stuns, and you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Nesphere, it says Stoicism there next to him, but I think he's getting quite annoyed with the Centaur, just doing whatever he wants. Visage, a bit of trouble there. Time dilation was used. Avalanche will be there, and alone, just make sure that his buddy's alive. Dino turns back time to a place where he was healthy, and all of his wounds will heal. Laning phase will continue. Now, I mean, coming at the end of it, it is still going to be Ryze coming out ahead. That's just what it is. The Centaur did really well in the top. Yes, the Faceless Void was struggling, but this hero, he can come back, and we can see that Dino is already looking towards a Midas. Lizzie. He is gonna be in a world of hurt. Doesn't have the mana for the Stampede, but Nesphere can get on top of him. Yes, you're... Oh, actually, he can. He pulls it back, TP out. As soon as the Dispose was used, no matter how hard you hit, it's not gonna be hard enough to kill this guy. Natty Narwhal in a bit of trouble. He can't get the stun off, and Dodge and finishes off the kill alone. Offers himself as a bonus, but it seems like Ryze, they don't have enough. Oh, yes, we do, and they're gonna get on top of him with 3 heroes, and this should be a dead alone with Arrow coming in with their last hit there. Dark denies the illusion rune. That's the only thing that X3 do manage to do nicely right now. Level 6 finally on the Visage. He is the one that is doing well on Sugarat, but overall, a lot of the weight is on his shoulders right now. Does have level 6, so familiars are gonna be annoying the Faceless Void for sure. 2 points in the time walk, 10 stick charges. Dino, he's not going to die, but he's not going to farm here too well either, so he's probably going to be needing a rotation or to change his lane, or just going to be suffering in farm for the foreseeable future. Marcy caught, Nesphere uses the Dispose, not going to be saving his life. Dodren, one more poke from the sword, finishes off Nesphere. That's going to be another one for Ryze Esports. They are everywhere. Currently an X3. This moment lost. It's very hard for them to make plays. They would probably want to play around their Visage, and that's most likely what's going to be happening in the near future. Black Archangel, the Grave Chill is on him. He does have the infused raindrop, so should be able to survive for a little bit longer, but not too long, because cooldown, it's not going to be that low, and he is going to be dying in the end to a soul assumption. Top lane Dark, he is being chased down. He might need to get over the cliff. He made a mistake. He went a little bit too close to Blizzy, and now he's gonna be losing his life. No reason to use the Icarus dive. They'll easily run you down, and the Phoenix will die. That was an easy escape for Dark. He could have approached that any way he liked, but he used the laser to the wrong side, and because of it, he's gonna pay the price. He could have dove away and then over the other cliff, just went out of the map. For those of you guys that don't know, with a Sunray, you can get yourself out of the map if you activate the TP while you're going over the cliff. No one can cancel it. There are a few exceptions. Maybe the Invoker with the Tornado can cancel it there. Maybe Tire Hunter with the Ravage if they don't see you. But other than that, it's very much impossible to get on top of the hero and to cancel the TP. So we are going to be seeing the first round of towers to drop. The top lane tower for X3, bottom lane for Ryze Esports are gone. Easiest towers to get. Obviously, it does favor XG a little bit because their hero needs to do so, needs to take that towers for it to take over the area. But currently, they are not controlling more of the map. Okay, Darky is just food at this point. Chains hold him in place long enough for the centaur to close the gap. Black Archangel, he already got a lot of pain from these birds, but now here comes the Marcy to deliver even more of it. It is going to be Sugarrat again that gets the kill. Dino on the high ground. Gets this at the ready. And look at the nice lady that is trapped in time. Let's give her the smooches. Might not be enough for Nesfir to die. Actually, it will. He already used the rebound, so he's going to be going down. That is a kill. Creeps in the end claim it.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Poor
attack.
Marcy. She never wanted it. She never hurt anyone. I'm just kidding, man. This girl, she has blood on her face. People would say on her hands, but literally has blood on her face there on the icon. No, I'm a cute little girl, but then I have blood on my on myself from other people, from punching them in the face alone. He is farming for a blink, understanding my team cannot make plays, and really they can't. Whereas the other side, they have a Clockwork, they have a Ember Spirit, they can easily engage, and here it comes, Ember Spirit engaging again alone. Did he get too far away? No, he did not. He's gonna be stunned up, and that is another kill. Blizzy claims it. He's like, yep, I need this one. I need to get towards my blink so we can start making plays, or just be so tanky that the enemies can't do anything. Of course, against the Sunray at some point you are going to be getting kind of soft, but at this point in the game it's going to be very hard. So 3 ultis for Ryze, as you can see on the screens, because we have this beautiful UI. 3 ultis from Ryze Esports, they have been used up. Clockwork is still level 5, so we'll see how fast he can get that level 6. Really was bullied on the bottom lane. Oh, Arrow has the manly headset as well. It seems to be their sponsors that are giving them those beautiful ones. Yes, I do have them too. I just don't have the ears. I don't know why. Did they rip me off when I bought that one? I don't know, but I could take it for some series in the future. I'm not going to be changing it here between series, but maybe some other day I will come in with the pink headphones, so I can be cool as well.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Dodron almost has a Maelstrom. It really is looking very much easy right now for Ryze. They're controlling everything there. The warding vision hookshot is going to be used. It does connect onto a lone, but he doesn't get the cogs off now. They want to both be in the cogs. This is not looking good for XG with the Mortimer's Kisses. They cannot move. The echo's used. That just means everything will burn, but it will not save a single hero from the side of XG. Why did it get close to Black Archangel? I don't know.
Dire's middle tower
But this is a
under
Black Archangel, which means he brings death and entrapment, and that is what XG, what they were at the receiving end of. For Phoenix, again, the same thing. Slide of fish chains, follow-up hoof stomp, and he dies to the double edge. And he's looking at it. How is this a double edge? I'm the only one dying from it. The Centaur is fine. Well, you know, if you use it properly, it only connects on the enemies. Smoke was used. They are already running towards the bottom lane. Sugarrat, not the fastest of heroes, especially if he cannot use the Grave Chill. Speaking of Graves, you might be put into him. A little bit of luck there. It's going to be the chains onto the birds, and the Chrono will be used onto the two of them. Who do I kill first? Dino doesn't know. Okay, Arrow will get into the Chronosphere. Grandma is old, she does want time to stop just so that she has a little bit more time. Nesfir will get a kill there and maybe even gets himself out. It is quite tanky. The Tiny will make sure of it. And because Ryze Esports, they switched between targets, they didn't know who to go for. It will be a 1-for-1 trade, again favoring them, but it is going to be a Chrono used. Blizzy doesn't even care about the blink. Who needs a blink when you're super tanky and strong? He's gonna be going for a pipe. He's gonna be going for a Crimson Guard. He wants to make sure that the enemies do no damage. Lot of fish chains on the two of them. Here comes a beautiful cookie as well. Two of them will get stunned up. Dark gets out with the Icarus dive, and the Ember will be tossed away. We don't want any, but thank you. Dodgen will be denied any any future kills there, at least for now. Blizzy. Yeah, you cannot call me two-legged abomination, can you, Lesh? He cannot, so he's just gonna be getting himself out. Sugarat might lose one of his birdies, sending him into death. He does have the resummon, probably will have to use it here, or else he's gonna be feeding 200. Okay, for now 100 gold. He does decide to resummon there at the end, so wanted to be a little bit cheeky. This is what pro players, semi-pro players, anyone who plays at a high level in Dota does a lot. I don't know if it's is the case in the lower MMR as well. Of course, the chat isn't going to be knowing anything about that one, because we know that the average MMR of our chat is probably 9, 10k, maybe even that is low. But what pros tend to do, let's say you have a blink and you want that one more spell to fly towards you, and then to blink out to force it out, and then, well, you make a mistake, you get hit by it. You could have blinked out at any point, just survived, but you're gonna get hit by it and die. Sugarat, he was going for that one. Let's force out as many spells as I can from the enemies, and then I'm gonna be respawning my my familiars, and in my unnecessary approach, I am going to be giving 100 gold to my enemies without... Really, I couldn't have saved anything alone. He is hunting for the Faceless Void. It's only the two of them. They need a core here as well. And Dino is already going to be in a defensive position. He has a ward there. Now he sees them clearly. Will be hiding in the trees, and alone will not get to show off his shiny new dagger that allows him to jump on the enemies. And, you know, he's going to be, for now, completely safe. Look at how he sees them. Oh no, this guy is hunting for me, and I'll bait them because the rest of Rise are coming from the back. They're slowly tiptoeing towards a Marcy. Oh, you wanna farm? Well, that is not gonna happen. She unleashes her power. We're gonna unleash your soul from your body. Nesphere is dead. And now the Kisses are gonna be scouting out the rest of X3 that came to help. But there is no one to help here any longer. Your carry is dead. Stampede will get you. Sugarat, where are you going, Sugarat? We see you. Surrounded by everyone. Time Flash is there. The guarding greaves were already used. Chrono is at the ready. Does Dino want to use it? Yes, he does. Beautiful stun from the Lash, though. It is going to prevent the damage from coming out immediately. Avalanche toss, but the pipe is there to protect everyone. Black Archangel will pay with his life, but again, a small price to pay. Cookie onto Dino. He doesn't see what he's eating, but he knows that it is very nice. Now the stun onto the Tiny. Blizzy comes in. This is a very hard hero to kill. This is an impossible hero to kill. They're going to lose alone. Nesphere comes over, jumps in with the Marcy. He's going to pull back Blizzy. The impossible is nothing. They want him dead. He's going to get the hoof stomp. Does have the sticks, and it seems like he will still be winning. It was impossible to kill him. So X3, they're gonna find it out the hard way. Dark gets himself out, turns into a piggy. Please don't scorch me, please don't burn me. And Dodrin, he is going for the disco pony. This one looks juicier, and it is gonna be a kill. They're gonna be killing the Phoenix as well. So the bonuses just keep on coming, and Rise Esports will take them gladly. 18-6. Tripling the kills of the enemies. You lose only Black Archangel, which has literally been the one and only hero on the side of Rise that has been dying, and every single time it comes at a bigger cost for the enemies. Hookshot was used, Cogback, another kill. Just one after the other. X3 are losing their heroes, and they are helpless. But what do they do? What can they hope for? So let's do a little bit of theory crafting here. The way you come back into a Dota game when you're far behind is one team fight. There you cannot win currently. 2 pickoffs. You have a blink dagger on the Tiny, but you're lacking vision, so possible, but very unlikely. And 3, split pushing. You are pretty much useless at that point. Split pushing and pick off, they can sometimes go hand in hand, because by split pushing, you do open up the map, do open up the vision, and you do separate the enemies. So split pushing very hard. You have to be relying so on the Tiny and his blink dagger. So it has to be some outplays, some constant pressure with the Tiny that forces Rise Esports into a fight. Or option number 4, you are kind of there with the Tiny, you are showing like you want to jump in, but you don't really, and then you're forcing Rise Esports to get together while you're farming with your other heroes. That could also be a play, but either way, it's always the Tiny, and this is the hero that has to be shown. With him being on a tier 2, that is a Clear sign for Rise. Yeah, we're completely fine. They're not doing anything. They can't do anything to us. And look at the positioning of the Centaur. He knows he can't die. Has a pipe. Crimson Guard is going to be done fairly soon. Faceless Void is going to have a BKB fairly soon. It is just looking grim for X3 overall. So first thing in order, get to the bottom lane. They can't do it. Or Tiny. Once the Tiny is gone, there is no issue. Now you go forward. Multiple heroes, you want them. The Stampede will get used, and they're coming over for Shergrat. Nice usage there of the familiars. It is gonna save him a little bit of time, but you know, your entire lifetime is just a moment for the Faceless Void, and he will get the chrono onto the left. Doesn't want to kill him. They turn around onto Shergrat. They're gonna wait for a little bit of help to deal with Natty Narwhal. Egg is gonna be popped, and now Natty Narwhal again with it as well. And that's going to be the 4th kill here for Rise Esports, who are completely dominating, destroying, annihilating X3. Marcy is farming. You're frustrated, you go and you kick creeps. He is still pretty much up there in terms of net worth. You know, only 1,000 behind the highest one. Still behind all 3 of the cores on the side of Rise, but overall is not struggling on Nesphere. The problem is that everyone else is struggling. The Lesh, a very strong farming hero, is only 2,000 gold ahead of a support. Shergrat, I like the control of the bottom lane. You need to be pushing that one out. If the bottom lane isn't pushed out, X3 can never make a play. So that is the first thing that you always have to keep your mind on. Side lanes, especially the bottom lane where you already took a tower. Because then Ember TP is there, and he needs a lot of time to come back. Obviously, he's the type of hero that can't leave a remnant, so that's one thing that X3 is going to have to think about. They have a BKB on the Marcy. Finally, they have someone who can live. No Chrono, no Stampede, no Mortimer's Kisses. The latter 2 will be up in just a couple of seconds. Smoke was used, Scan was used, so Rise Esports, they know. Faceless Void has been found. Toss, Avalanche. Can he die? No, he can't. BKB being used, but they will lose a Clockwork. Black Archangel more than happy to give his life for a 9-second BKB of the Marcy, but the Faceless Void, he's the one that uses his.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Marcy didn't use her BKB, so I guess you saved your boy. Unleash was the only thing that was used. And the mid lane tower taken. X3 with the Marcy BKB. Finally, you know, they're okay. Problem is, next chrono is probably going to be going on to him. X3 going forward. They have good vision on the top lane. Once you shove in the mid lane, once you shove in the bottom lane, you can make a move on the map. Problem, of course, bottom lane not shoved in. Rise, it is their time. Now it's our turn. They're going to go for a smoke as well. Might smoke out X3 into a fight, Ember. 9-second BKB on him at the ready. There's going to be a BKB at the ready fairly soon. Alone, he gets himself out. Blink away immediately. Dodge and doesn't connect with this light. X3 are out. Nesphere, 9-second BKB. You definitely don't want to use it, but you might have to push back. Not going to be happening. Nesphere still hoping not to use that one, but he decides it's not worth it. My life is not worth a 9-second BKB charge. Just toss it away. This is a call for Roche. Usually, the play is smoke into kill into Roche, but the BKB force out from the Marcy is good enough. X3 are actually good around the pit. You have the egg. Around the pit is where the egg can survive. If you get it over somewhere where the Snapfire can't see it, you might actually be able to get Rise out of the pit and kill them. Let's see if they think so. Nope, they decide it's not worth it. So you have to make this decision, and you have to make it fast. Are we fighting? No. Okay. We are split pushing the lanes. You push out the side lanes and you prepare. Once the enemies get the Aegis, they're going to be needing to deal with the lanes. So there is where you strike when they are alone. You know, he gets the Aegis. And usually with the first Aegis, what you're trying to do is open up a tier 2. Right? Shouldn't be too hard for Rise Esports because they have overwhelming power in terms of team fight. But with split push, with constant pressure on the other lanes, you might be able to dissuade them, because sometimes it's not worth it to get a tower if your bottom and the mid lane tower are going to be losing half of its HP. So what Rise Esports are doing, send the Void to the top lane, send a hero to the mid lane, and the other ones are in between. So there you're controlling more territory. Stop tier 2 is gonna be going down. Glyph is used. Someone needs to cut that one. Phoenix is in a good position to do it, and he has a ward, so I'm not sure why he's not going there to the left, but he's gonna allow the creeps to come in here fairly soon. They might not be even needed. The backdoor protection doesn't come in handy there. It doesn't come into play immediately. It needs 20 seconds to activate. It is gonna be enough for Rise Esports to claim that tower, claim the outpost. Now these 2 wards on X3 on the top lane, 3 wards from X3 on the top lane are very much useless and very, very hard to do anything with them. Alone, trying to get himself out. Dodgen doesn't want to chase into the dark. Even though this guy was alone, still is, but you know what I mean. You never want to make that risk when you're ahead. If you're behind, you go for it, you hope they're not there, that they were doing something else. But when you're ahead, you don't have to do it to win, and then you don't take the risk. Sugarat, he's gonna be spotted, he's gonna be stunned. He might even go down here. BKB from Dino is gonna allow him to get the bashes in. There is gonna be a stone form. Esphere jumps in, Dino needs to get himself out. Nice hook shot, but preventing that damage. That was a lot of damage onto their poor faces. Void, stun onto the Marcy, still hasn't popped the BKB, still does have it. Esphere jumps himself out, doesn't want to fight any longer. Now faces Void, jumps in, it's gonna be a 3-man chrono. You will be stopped in time. Phoenix dead, Mortimer's kisses, everyone will die. It is gonna be the Lesh surviving because of this BKB, but Black Archangel already dead. No turnaround will be there for X3. They just don't have the jump. Without the Tiny, any kind of buybacks, anything will be just useless. And Rise Esports, after a beautiful chrono, will claim themselves another tier 2 tower and continue to dominate X3 in this game number 1. Immediately. So what you do when you're winning? While someone is dead, you transition in between lanes. When are you vulnerable? When you don't have cooldowns, but more importantly, when you are transitioning between lanes because you're not going to be together. So while one of their heroes is dead, you try to control as much of the map as you can, push in the waves as much as you can, then you connect and you go for a lane where you want to go for an objective. Right now, an objective for Rise Esports, it could be either controlling an area or taking the bottom tier 2. For now, it seems to be their objective is to farm and to create space. So just shove in the lanes. Don't focus on getting the tier 2. Shove in the lanes, offer your supports, that's it. And you can see who was in a bad positioning is the Clockwork, is the Snapfire. Who's pushing out the waves is the Centaur, it's the Ember. Who is playing it super safely is the Faceless Void. Very nice disperse there from Rise Esports. Now it's time to connect while your enemies are actually dealing with waves. Black Archangel up in the air. Nesphere, he does use the Unleash, unleashes his power. Yeah, that's cool, well played Marcy, but your eyes are gonna stop shining fairly soon, and then we are coming for you. There it is, we're coming for them, and it is gonna be dark going down. Very nice disperse, very nice reconnect onto the mid lane. Just beautiful. Beautiful textbook though coming here from Rise. X3 are pretty much helpless. Clockwork catches them, tries to slow them down. Rise Esports are not going to be fast enough to get there. Long initiation from the Clockwork useful, but it's still a little bit too far away for his teammates. And what happened here? X3, they stayed a little bit too long. They didn't deal with the waves. Because of that, their bottom tier 2 is going to be taking some damage.
Top tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is
Actually,
under
maybe
attack.
even dying when you're missing a hero. And it is your main team fight hero. It is not your main initiation hero. Nice save for the fire arrow. He does have these mobility items. And it is understandable. You want to have mobility, you want to live, you want to be fast to move around the map. Understand that the gold lead is super high, so the worst thing that you could do is like, okay, I'm gonna be super tanky and then I'm gonna be in their face. 30 minutes into the game, any hero can die if he's not careful enough. So you just make sure that you never get caught, but you're always in a position where the enemies might think that they can catch you. But just connecting and dispersing is what you're gunning for if you're Rise. 3 minutes until we know when the Roche will be spawning. So that is gonna be a big deal. X3, you cannot let it go. That's just how it is. If you're Rise, you get the Aegis and you push in one of the side lanes. You don't push the mid lane. Why is that? It's because you're playing against the Tiny. When playing against Tiny, Bat and stuff like that, the mid lane is the hardest one to push in. Why? Because of the toss back into tier 4s. Even though Rise Esports generally could go to push into the mid lane in this game, maybe even without the Aegis, it is still very risky. So when you know this is X3, you have to smoke out. You have to make something happen. They're just going to win passively against us. So this smoke right now is to hold an area, at least one area around the map before the Roche spawns. They're thinking the enemies are in the triangle. They are in the triangle, not deep there though. They are around this ward here next to the river. So Rise Esports, they're waiting. There's going to be a couple of things coming there. Alone jumps in. You're not going to be killing the Faces Void like that. Now you've dispersed. You're not in a good position, especially because they see you. Dino turns back time. He's going to have all of his HP back. Chrono is at the ready. We'll see if he uses Stampede. Used for now. They want a little bit better of a positioning for a fight there on Rise Esports. No reason to go in. You just need to play very, very carefully when you're this far ahead. Side of Fist Chains onto the Marcy. They're gonna wait out that one. They jump in with Blizzy, and now the Marcy has been caught. She will be leaving the cogs though. Very nicely done there with the rebound. But can you leave the battle? No, she can't. Will be taken down. The egg is gonna be surviving for a long time. It is gonna explode. Will allow them to kill the Clockwork. Now the Faces Void comes in, and the Chrono once again. It is amazing when you wait that well. Alone jumps in. I'm gonna die with my teammates. I'm a good guy. We will all go down together, my friends. And yes, you will. Shergarat going there. He is gonna choose where his grave will be. Turns to stone, but very soon he will be turned to dust by Arrow and Blizzy. In the end, just stepping on him with the heavy and strong hooves. And wiping X3 once more. This is usually the time where you go for a GG out, because the only thing that you accomplish to get from that fight is place a ward. I am not even going to be counting the Clockwork kill. So you placed a ward. Okay, area. You have a ward, but you're not really controlling it. You've put a ward in your triangle. That is... I don't know. I don't even know if it's going to be giving you anything, but it could potentially give you a pick-off or two. Okay, at this point, I just call it. Because your ward is out. Next fight is going to be even tougher. Rise Esports are going to be in a same or a more defensive spot. Once you lose the next fight, you're going to be losing the Roche. That's when the game ends. But okay, they still want to play. X3, taking their time. If they think there's something they can learn from this game, then that's okay. Though it is very hard to say, to be honest. So, Dino wants the shard. Next Roche could give it to him. Smoke from X3. While there are no ultis, at least the Chrono, you need to get some area under your control. If you're not controlling a single area, you don't have a way to fight Roche. You're going to be running in there blindly. You might just be running into the Roche blindly because it's going to be up in 10 seconds. Dodrin, Invis, breaks the smoke. Sleight of Fist Chain is going to be connecting. Egg immediately used. And yep, that's one is going to pop. And no one cares. Hook shot immediately onto the high ground. Black Archangel is going to be getting himself out of that one. He just wanted to trap the Marcy. Marcy says, I cannot be trapped. The supports are dead. He is going to be putting a lot of hits into that one. And Rise Esports, they have to bail for now. Buybacks are going to be coming out. Buyback king for second Roche is very important. Dino pops the BKB, goes for the Chrono, will be killing down there the Visage, and they'll go for the Lash as well. They both have buybacks. It's a good time to use it if you want to secure the Roche. Yes, it's going to be a lot of gold lost, but I mean, you're already 25k gold ahead. Sorry, behind. Marcy, are you going to allow S3 to die as well? No. Shergarat on the high ground there. He did buy back into this one. Ogre still Totem. The question is, does it really allow you to live? That's going to be Marcy dead again. Ultra kill for Dino. 2 buybacks ready on X3. They're still not buying back, but this game, it is very, very over. They can't win a single fight, even when it starts super good for them, and X3 will finally call it. They've come to a conclusion. This game, we cannot play it any longer. Let's call it. Let's play it better in game number 2. Very clean performance from Rise, right? They did everything right. Of course, in fights, sometimes you're gonna have a positioning mistake, like they did have in this one with their supports. Really, no reason for a Snapfire to come that close to the Clockwork. But overall, in terms of movements, in terms of understanding when and how to fight, what their timings are, how to play the laning phase, how to survive the first couple of minutes, everything was on point. They also played the laning phase slightly better than their opponents, and it ended up being an easy victory. So you can see it's slowly small things that add up in the game that suddenly one team looks much better than the other, and they are, because they're doing like 10 things better than you just over a long period of time. So beautifully done by Rise Esports. I have to say, X3, they didn't look at any point in that game that they were doing well. There was a time, when they got a double kill on the top lane, but that's first 4 or 5 minutes of the laning phase. This can always turn around, and it is a problem if you cannot capitalize on it a little bit more. But with that being said, guys, that's going to be it for game number 1. We're going to be going for, I'd say, a 10-minute break, but after it is done, we're going to be hopping into game number 2, and hopefully this time there is not going to be any delays. So as soon as the break is over, we're going to be jumping into game number 2 of X3 versus Rise Esports.